Hi, I'm Will Weber. I'm the instructor for your Math 151 class, Calculus 1. I want to go through the syllabus with you here so you can know what to expect from this course. Here we go. This is Math 151. We are section OL1 on line 1. Prerequisite is C or better in Math 152. I really want to emphasize here that although the prerequisite is a C or better, I expect that you know everything from Math 152 and everything that was a prerequisite course to that. You gotta know everything. If you don't, well, we'll kind of help you learn it, but you got to take the initiative too to go back and say, you know, hey, this is a section of knowledge that I didn't quite get, so I got to figure it out now, because we will use every scrap of algebra and trig that you have ever used, ever learned before. This is calculus. So be ready to go back and fill in some of your holes. Okay, we'll help you, but be ready. Course website here is WAMAP. This is course number 5707, enrollment key 151. You probably already know this because you're watching this video, which means you've made it into the course. So here we go. My information here, I am Dr. William T. Weber. You can just call me Will. My office here is LDC 221. That's Laidlaw Center on the Whatcom Community College campus. Just because it's an online class doesn't mean you can't come to my office to see me face to face in my office. Please come on in and ask your questions, get some help from me. Here you can use the other on-campus resources too, the Math Center and whatnot. But my office hours are 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, or by appointment, or hey, if the door's open, just come on in, just drop in. I also have an online office. That is, when I'm in my office, my plan is to be in my online office as well, and that's right here through this link. The first time you click on it, your computer's going to want to download some software. It's free software. It's Blackboard Collaborate is what I use. Anyway, you're going to have to give your name to log in and say, yeah, I'll behave myself when I'm in there. But once you're in there, there's a place that we can chat. I can use my camera. Heck, if you have a camera, you can use it. You can use a microphone. We can talk to each other. There's a whiteboard to write on and do such anyway. So that's a good place if you can't actually physically come to my office to get some help, is to go to the online office. Generally, if I'm in my office here, I'm going to try to be logged on to that as well. If you think I should be logged on to it, and I'm not, give me a call, send me an email and say, hey Will, are you in your office? Can you get onto the online office? And I'll say, sure. Okay, anyway, here's my phone. If you want to give me a call here at the office, 303-383-3566, and my email is wweber@whatcom.ctc.edu. The textbook that we're using is Early Transcendentals, Calculus Early Transcendentals, 7th edition by Stewart. The Early Transcendentals part is just a matter of when do we deal with things like the exponential function and the log function. Do you do them in Calc 1 or Calc 2? We do them in Calc 1, so it's early. We'll use this textbook for all of your Calc 1, 2, 3, 4 if you take it here with us at Whatcom. For Calc 1, we cover chapters 2, 3, and 4. Topics include limits, and then derivatives. How do you take derivatives, and what do you do with them? The course outcomes, a list of topics that the department has agreed on, are sort of the core of what we're going to teach you. They're pretty broad to some respect. There's a lot of sub-outcomes, as we'll see as we go through the course. Each week it's broken down into these are the things we want this week. But when you're reviewing for the midterm or the final, you might want to take back a look at these and say, hey, this is what he's really after. So we give you an idea of what type of questions I might be asking. So I'm going to give you a grade. That grade's going to be based on something. So here's some stuff that I'm going to do. There's homework. There's two types of homework. There's the stuff out of the book, and there's the stuff on WAMAP. WAMAP, you'll just see dispersed through the content each week. There'll be some practice problems. You can work these problems as many times as you want, enter the answers in. WAMAP tells you whether you're right or wrong. To some extent, I mean, it's not a perfect system. Sometimes you'll have a correct answer that's not quite the way WAMAP was looking for it. WAMAP's pretty flexible on what it'll accept, but sometimes it's looking for 4 decimal places of accuracy and you only gave it 3, whatever. But these questions, take them as many times as you want. You know, work them. It's fine. There's also stuff out of the homework out of the book. So here's a list of sections out of the textbook. Each section with a sequence. This is sequence notation of numbers that you're expected to do. So think of n as an integer. So 2 times n would be an even integer. So 0, 2, 4, 8, so on. And if you add 1 to all of those, then you get a bunch of odd integers. So this is the sequence notation for odds. I want you to do the odds. And do them for n less than 16. So does that mean to stop at problem number 15? No, it does not, because n is equal to 15. Then 2 times n plus 1 is actually equal to 31. So you got to work all the way up to number 31 on that, right? Okay. Again, I'm not collecting these. It's not part of your grade. This is practice. How many times have I heard people say, "Oh, I hate it when math teachers give you busy work." Busy work? What? Busy work? This is what's called practice. If you want to get good at anything, math, playing the piano, pole vaulting, you know, playing baseball, whatever it is, skateboarding, I don't know, something that you want to be like real good at. You got to practice. I don't care what it is. You got to practice. And math, it just means working more problems. I don't know. You don't have to do every single problem if you're finding them easy. But then, at that point, you know, if you're taking tests and quizzes and you're finding you're not able to do them quickly enough, or you don't really know quite what you need to do, that means you probably haven't practiced enough. So do these, you know, and ask questions about them. In fact, asking questions leads us to the next thing, the discussions. There's 12 discussion forums throughout the course here. First one is the introduce yourself discussion here during week 0 or week 1. The other ones are all homework discussion. That is, you're working on homework problems and you're stuck, you know, ask the question, post it to the forum. Other students should say, hey, I got that one. Here's how I did it. I will post in if no one else does. I just assume, hope that you guys sort of help each other out here. It is part of your grade. Every week you need to post something of value to the discussions. Just saying, hey, I like your answer, you know, that's not a value. But asking a question, that's a value. Giving a solution to someone else's question, that's a value. Maybe even posting a link saying, hey, you know, as I was working on this, I found this link with this video that's, you know, other than the one that I've posted here on the website. You know, here's an outside link that I think is useful that people might want to look at. That's a value. Maybe just taking a question that you've worked out, saying, hey, look, here's problem number 17. I've got the solution. Here's how I did it. That's a value, right? Do something every week. Post to that forum. Everything's due on Sunday. Each week, I figure, starts Monday morning at 12:01 and it ends Sunday night at 11:59. There's 2 minutes in there that aren't in either week. So stuff is due. The discussion forums are due by the end of the week. Make some contribution each week. Due on Sunday night at midnight. And that's WAMAP's midnight, not your midnight. Don't cut it that close that you're going to say, hey, I thought I had 2 more minutes and WAMAP cut me off. Well, WAMAP's clock thought it was midnight, so it cut you off. So, okay, just don't push it that late. Okay, so there's those discussions. That's worth 10% of your grade. There's quizzes. Every week within the block for that week, the last thing after the discussion, you'll see at the end of the week, you'll see the quiz. Quizzes will appear on Thursday. You have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at some point to get them done. I don't think they're going to take that long, but you know, and there's no time limit other than sometime within those 4 days you got to get them done. Okay. There'll be a few questions on WAMAP. You'll get 3 chances per question. Any correct answer on any one of your three guesses or three chances will be counted as full credit. WAMAP grades them automatically, but WAMAP does not assign partial credit. I come back in after the time, after the time frame is up, and I look at all the class quizzes, and I assign partial credit sometimes. Sometimes I can tell that what you typed in really is correct and WAMAP thought it was wrong, in which case I can assign full credit. Anyway, so right away you might think your grade isn't as good as it should be. I will come back in and double check WAMAP's work after that. Quizzes, the total is 30% of your grade. I guess it also says here that the lowest quiz score will be dropped. So of the 9 quizzes, 8 of them will count. Actually, there's one assignment in here as well early on in the quarter that I will count as a quiz. It's when you run across it in the content, you'll see it. I'll point it out as well in another video. Yes, so then there are 2 proctored exams. There's a midterm exam and there's a final exam. The midterm exam covers the first half of the quarter. The final exam covers the second half of the quarter. The final is not comprehensive. It's just the second half test. These classes, these tests will be proctored. I'll arrange a room here on the campus to take them. We're going to do it 7 to 9 p.m. on the 2 different nights. In fact, I'm going to scroll down to the calendar here. The midterm will be on May the 15th, Thursday. That's 7 to 9 p.m. I'll arrange a room and announce it once I get the room. The final exam will be on June the 18th. Okay. I'm hoping that everyone can come at those times to take that. It's almost always the case that there's some exceptions. We will work with those exceptions to make sure that everyone gets the ability to take these tests. I can use the testing center for a few individuals if I need to. Hopefully people can just make it to the times for those 2 things. Right? That's the only time you're asked to come to campus to do something. But the department policy is that online classes, I need at least 50% of your grade proctored. So the quizzes are not proctored. I'm asking you to do the quizzes by yourself, not to be asking quiz questions on the discussions. Do those quizzes by yourself, but I'm not looking over your shoulder. I'm trusting your honesty on those. The midterm and the final, bring an ID. I need to make sure I know who you are, and you're going to take your test. Okay. They are closed book tests, both the midterm and the final, but I will allow a sheet of notes, 8.5 inches by 11 inches or smaller. You can use both sides on those. Okay. You may use a calculator as well. No phones as calculators. If it's a communication device, we can't use it. But generally, I'm not too picky about calculators. Both the midterm and the final each are 30% of your grade. So the quizzes, the midterm, the final are each 30%. That's 90% there, and then the 10% for the discussions. Okay. Here's the grading assignments based on your percentages. If you have any disability requirements, please let me know. There's a lot of things we can do. I will be in the process of closed captioning all my videos if I need to for people. Anyway, just let me know what your requirements are, or have the disability support services send me. They usually send me an email letting me know. Just get that process started, and we'll do what we need to do. Right. Participation in conduct. Yeah, this is not a spectator sport. You should be doing it. You should be reading the book. You should be working problems. Face-to-face class, I figure, you got 5 hours. It's a 5-credit class. You got 5 hours in class, probably 10 hours a week outside. So I'm figuring 15 hours a week is what you're spending on this class. I'm about to run out of time on this video. I'm going to do another one.